Hi everyone, this is Clara with Card Stamping with Clara. Coming to you this afternoon from a hot and muggy day in North Carolina. It is so sticky outside, and we're making Snowbin cards today. So it seems kind of ironic, but nevertheless, here we go. I wanted to ask you to please push the subscribe button if you would before we get started. And that will let you know when I put up a video, and it will also help me. So the other thing is, since I am a independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I have a host code, and if you should need a product, if you'd please use that host code, it's right here. When you purchase $50 from me, I will give you a $10 gift as long as you use the host code. So that's important for you and important for me. Okay, let's talk about the card we're going to make today. And it is this little bridge card. And I made it with the Snowbody Better stamp set, as you can see. And I'll show you how we're going to put this together in a few minutes. And over on the back, there's a little extra thing. So I'm going to set it up and show you the set. It's very simple. We've just got one big image. This is a cling set, so it's a really nice set. It's got different sentiments like Snowbody's better than you, you're so snow cool, warm winter wishes, we would melt without you, snowflake hugs, cold hands, warm hearts, and stay cool. And then there's a little bird and some snowflakes, a little gift tied up in a bow, and looks like the snowman has melted in this one. So this is one that we can use the blends in, and it actually does real well, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And the only thing that I used out of this pretty pillow box die set, and this will cut out a pillow box, is this one little die for my sentiment, Warm Winter Wishes. So that's the only thing I used, and you know, if you can't afford to purchase the die set, you can just cut you a rectangle and you're good to go. Okay, let's talk about these cards today. This is one that I made using the Fresh Freesia is the color. It's one of the new colors for this year and next year. And the snowflakes on that particular color came from the Penguin Playmate set of paper, and that paper is free with a $50 order. And this is from the pretty new, it's just called Silver Specialty Foil, and it's real pretty and shiny, and it just almost picks up the color that I used in these little snowmen. And I did use the blends on this one. The little packages are actually done in light raspberry. And I used some blue, balmy blue, and some shaded spruce in the lighter colors. And all the noses have been done in the pumpkin pie blends, the light pumpkin pie. And as I looked at these, I was going to put like Merry Christmas or something on the inside of them. And then I thought, they could be used for a lot of things if I didn't put that in. Or if you want to, you can put Merry Christmas or whatever you want to. But this one says Snowflake Hugs. And on the inside, each time I just stamped one of these pretty little packages. And then each inside has got the color of border that is accented on the outside. So that's the first one. It's not quite traditional, but it is, I think it turned out pretty good. This one, I use vellum. And I tried to use the darker colors of the blend so that it would show through the vellum without being overwhelming. I also embossed some snowflakes on the outside of the vellum. And this is Night of Navy. and I put warm winter wishes on the outside of this one. This one is another one with the paper from that Penguin Playmates. And I just thought that the mint macaron and the rich raspberry, the light rich raspberry blends, and I used one of the blues I had. I'm not sure. I don't think this is the Balmy Blue. It might be one that's no longer available, the Seaside blue that I used, but Seaside Mist, I believe. But anyway, you can use any kind of blue you want to. I made all my bluebirds, and this one says cold, for cold hands, warm hearts, and this die, I just wanted a round one. You might have to use a coffee can or something. This big die is not available at Stampin' Up. There's a smaller die, and we have layering round circle dies, which are real nice, but they weren't quite big enough to go around this particular snowman set. So that's the reason I use this kind of one out of my stash. Let's just leave it at that before I get in trouble. Here's one that I used, Nobody's Better Than You. And I used more traditional colors in this one. There again, I used the blends, the blues, shaded spruce, real red, balmy blue, and this is Daffodil Delight. So this paper is from the Peaceful Place 12 by 12 sheets that's in the mini catalog, and it just looked like kind of like maybe that was ice to me. I mean, it's not exactly like ice, but it kind of made me think of ice. And so this is real red and basic gray that I used as a border. And I started to put a ribbon. I was going to put a bow on this one, and I had put a little strip of ribbon in behind. And I didn't think it looked bad just to leave it like it is, but I decided there wasn't enough room to really put a bow here. So that's the reason I did not put a bow. But other than that, you know, this one's layered and it's lifted up with dimensionals off of the card base. So it's a little bit thicker than some because it's got many layers, but I thought it looked pretty that way. Here's one that this is the metallic black that's available in the mini catalog, and the balmy blue. And around these snowmen, I embossed some snowflakes, silver snowflakes, and Stay Cool, and this is one of our little circle layering dies. And I just thought that looked pretty good together. So what you can do with this snowman, you can just color till your heart's desire is satisfied. You can use any colors you want. The only thing I would suggest is, you know, try to think about what colors you want to use for borders or as accents in your card, and try to match them as best you can so that you don't have, you know, two colors that are just very antagonistic, I'll put it that way. On this one, I embossed these stars with the embossing folder that I had shown you a week or so ago, I guess. And I just laid one on top of the other, the stars on top of this segment of paper, and I just cut me a snowbank, and then I fit them back together. So that's how I got that to look that way. And this is embossed in white, and then of course I just colored a little snowman again. Real red is the color. And the last one here, the little snowman, it says warm winter wishes. It made me think, you know, maybe you'd like to send this to a little girl or to a female. And so this is done in Blushing Bride with a little bit of the balmy blue And I embossed the snowman. I embossed the sentiment. I used a sheet of that paper there again from the Peaceful Place. So, not only got a couple of different sets of paper this week, one which you can earn free. And then I did cut out these. I thought they were really cute, especially with all the silver. And that also was from the pretty pillow box set. You can just cut out the prettiest little flowers to accent things with, or snowflakes, or whatever you want to call them. They'll pass for, either one, I think. So that was the last one. That was the 8th one that I did. And I'll show you how to get this little bridge card made. This is something that, I haven't done a lot of specialty cards, but I'm trying to branch out some and show you how to make some, and we'll see what we can get done here. First of all, I'm going to get my trimmer here and my score board. That's what I'm really going to use it for today. And we're going to start with a piece of real red cardstock. And what I did is I took an entire sheet of real red cardstock and I cut off on the side that's 8.5 inches, cut off a 1/2 inch to start with. Then cut the piece in half so that you have 5.5 by 8 and 5.5 by 8. And from one, you can get 2 cards like this, and it will fit in an A2 card, by the way. So that's the reason that it's cut down some from some sizes. But basically, once you have your sheet that is 5.5 by 8, this being 8, then what you want to do is cut off 1 1/4 inches. So this is 1 1/4, and this leaves this 4 1/4. So we'll lay this piece here. We're going to need that for the bridge. But the first thing we're going to do after you get all those pieces cut, or that piece cut, is we are going to score. And this is one thing I really do like my trimmer here for, is for scoring. We're going to score the first one at 1 1/4. Okay, now I'm going to turn this one around and I have to get my mind in gear here. And I'm going to score at 2 1/2. I'm trying to be careful because all these numbers can get to going round and round in your head, and sometimes what comes out the mouth can be a little bit different than what you intended for it to. All right, so we've scored at 1 1/4 and 2 1/2. Now we're going to go over to 5 1/2. And I'm going to try to make sure I get this lined up nice and straight, because that will affect it when we get ready to fold it up. And then it is going to be scored at 6 3/4. And that's all we need the scoreboard for. Fold it up a little bit. Set it over here. Maybe it won't fall. All right, first thing you want to do is you have the 2 sections here, you have the 2 sections here that are where the score lines run. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in to the second score line, and we're going to fold it towards the center. And then you'll burnish your score line, so you'll have a nice crisp edging. Just make sure that when you lap them over, they're nice and straight. Now, that makes the back of it. But this score line, instead of folding it in, we're going to fold it back, kind of on itself. So we're going to fold that one backwards. And burnish that. Same thing on the other side. Okay. Then what you have, I'm going to try to set that right under the camera. You can see what it looks like. And in the end, when we put the bridge across, then it will, it'll hold it together. Now, I'm going to turn it over. And the reason I'm going to turn it over is if you want to write something, if you just want to sign your name, you can do it right down in there before you attach this. There's not much room, and I'll show you like on this one. I've already colored it. So as you can see, there's not much room there. So that's the reason for this pocket on the back. So what I did was I cut a piece of basic white that's 2 3/4 by 3 1/2. And what I'm going to do before we do anything to the front is we're going to glue this on the back, and it'll just make it easier to do it now than later. So I'm going to take an eraser and erase this light reminder of the size of the basic white. And then we're going to glue that side in. I tried this yesterday with tearing tape, and it was sort of an afterthought, and I tried to put it on after I had put the card together, and that just doesn't work nearly as well. So right now we're going to turn this around. You want to put glue down both sides and across the bottom, and of course at the top you do not want any glue because you're going to slide a little tag in there, and you're going to put a tiny little border at the bottom. And I was very careful about where I put the glue when I put it towards each side, because we're going to slide a tag down in the middle of it, and I'm going to show you what the tag will look like. You can use the this is the Delightful Tag Topper is what I used. I stamped Merry Christmas on this one. This is the one that I made into a Christmas card. I used a little bit of baker's twine, and you can put your name, you can say love whoever, whatever you want to down on the bottom of this. And you don't have to stamp anything back here. Conceivably, you could sign something that you wanted to on this. And you might just put a full back if you do that. But as you can see, this will go right down in there, just like that. And you can hide it from the front, but so it doesn't look, gawky or something. But that's the tag topper. I mean, the tag from the Delightful Tag Topper. And I'm just going to flip this over and let it set up good. So that part's done. If you haven't used a punch before, this is a 2-inch wide strip of paper already cut. And this will cut 3 different sizes, the largest one being 2. And just slide it up in there like that and flip it over. Whoops! And the little pieces fly everywhere, but that's okay. And that makes a pretty little design, and it cuts a hole for you. Now, it's up to you how long you want to make the tag. I mean, it can be short or long or whatever. So, just wanted to show you that briefly. All right. Now then, the other things that we're going to need for this card is the center image. Like I said, I went ahead and colored these with blends, so that would be done. And I will show you one of the blends here so that you know what I'm talking about. This is the real red. This is the light real red. If you haven't used blends before, they have a bullet in like this. That's for smaller areas that you don't want too much ink to come out. And this is more like a paint in. And so I used the bullet in for most of these, I think, probably all of them. But anyway, all you do is color, just like you did when you were a kid. But the only thing I would advise you to do, or to be careful of, is don't get too close to the lines, because sometimes it'll spread out just a tiny bit. So, you know, be careful about that, and put something under your paper when you're coloring, because as you can see, sometimes some of that ink will come through. These are alcohol markers, and they do a nice job. We also have a color lifter that you can use. It's has a bullet in and a paint in, just like the others. But what it's for is to help clean up if you bobble outside the line. And what I have found over a period of time is, if you bobble out somewhere, let it dry. Just leave it alone for a little while. Then go back with the bullet end of this, and carefully it will remove most of that color. Now, you know, we're talking small areas. We're not talking about, you know, cleaning up a whole lot and changing colors. We're just talking about if you bobble out, and that works pretty well for that. Okay, that said about the blends, I'm going to gather up these other little pieces here. And the one thing I want to make you aware of, if you should use this set to make a bridge card, this small bridge card, there's a couple of things you need to be mindful of. And the reason being is, I want you to stamp your image, say 1/2 inch, maybe a little bit more, from the bottom of your paper up to where the image starts. If you don't, what will happen is you will not be able to see the snowman. I hope you can see that. The way I'm holding it, I'm not 100% sure. But you want to get it where you can see them. If you put your bridge on, which is this part, and the snowmen are sitting down against the bottom of your card, you know, all you're going to see is heads. So that's the reason for that. And they're just really, just barely small enough to be able to do this and use these snowmen for this purpose. There's 3 inches from the 2 inside score lines. And these are cut, this is cut like 2 7/8 of an inch. And then you've got a little border at the top and the bottom, about 1/8 of an inch. So that's the reason for it. Otherwise, you're going to be cutting off part of your image. So this is one of those situations where every little fraction of a inch makes a difference. But I thought they were cute, and so I wanted to use them, and it seemed like a good idea. So we're going to put a little bit of glue on it, and we're going to go ahead and put this in the middle. And I'm going to press it. I'm not going to press it. I'm going to lay it out where I can see good. Do my best to see good. I'll put it that way. And get it lined up. And I think that's pretty balanced. So I'm going to take my hand and carefully just rub back and forth to seal it down. I don't want it to slip any. Kind of have to be careful of that, because it can really surprise you sometimes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to work from the center out. You can work from the outside and go in. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I'm going to take this little piece of basic gray, and I'm going to line it up against my center image. And by doing that, I can work from the center and go to both edges, and I just I think I can control it a little bit better where they are all balanced. Like I said, it's up to you. There's no set way that some of this stuff has to be done. So I got a little bit extra glue right there. So I'm going to take a little off with a little piece of cardstock. Oh, excuse me, my nose is itching. You know the old wise tale that somebody is coming? I don't believe it, but for some reason I got a little allergy or something. This little piece that I am gluing on now is 1 inch wide and it's 4 inches long. And it is basic gray. You need 2 of these. We did this a little bit different today. But you need 2 of these, which I've already cut. I just thought that the basic gray was a nice contrast, and it's in the snow. Well, it's got silver snow on gray, I guess. All right, so I'm going to eyeball it and try to get that straight. Okay. And it makes those borders stand out. Now here are the 2 pieces for the outside flaps here. These are the pieces that came from the Peaceful Place, where you have the shiny little silvery snow on it. It makes it so pretty. This is 1 inch by 4 as well, and you need 2 of these. And all these different numbers of different pieces and sizes and things will be on my website at Card Stampin with Clara. It'll be right under the picture of the card, and it's complete instructions and directions as to what you need and how to put it together and the whole thing. So you don't have to copy anything down. I will put all that information on at the same time I put the video on, and that way it makes it easy. You can print it off, you can lay it down beside your work area and follow it along. If something doesn't seem as clear as you'd like for it to, you can always go back to the video and, see what I said about it, or, refresh your memory. Whatever you need to do, but I try to make it so that it's as easy as possible to do and as understandable. So, all right. Now, something I thought about, it's up to you, like I said, it's just whatever you think, but, you might want to put an accent here. You might want to put some little gems or snowflakes or something. It's just up to you, whatever you'd like to do. Now, the bridge that goes across it, this is real red, and it is 5 1/4. Let me make sure. No, 5 1/2 by 1 1/4, and the this piece is 1 inch by 5 1/4. To make sure that I know what I'm talking about here. The neat thing about this is it's a little bit smaller card, excuse me, than some, but it'll still fit into an A2 envelope, and I'll show you how that works in just a second. Okay. All right. I believe that'll be okay. This says Warm Winter Wishes. And this is the one die that I did use. It's so pretty, I couldn't resist. And, it was just perfect for this particular sentiment too. I look for dies that work because of their size and different things. You see there, I stamped something on the back. I started to stamp it and it didn't stamp correctly, and so I did it over, and like I told somebody the other day, you know, you can turn the paper over and you can use it. It won't show through, and you glue it down and you save a little paper, and nobody will ever know that you did that. There's no sense in wasting your paper. I'm going to put down what I did use for the colors and all of that in this particular one. But, you know, you can use different colors, and you don't have to use every color I used. You don't have to use the same colors I used. If you've got some purchased at home, you know, you can use what you've got. All right. Wait for that to fold. Looks like it's... Okay, there we go, maybe. All right. Okay. We're going to glue it, just a segment, to this part right here. So you do not need to put glue all the way across this. If you do, you're going to have a mess. Maybe about 1 inch ought to be plenty. And depending on how, you know, I'm just going to put mine just barely above the bottom of the card, and see if I can get it straight all the way across. All right, there's half of it, and we're going to fold it this way, and okay. Try to get that lined up. Okay. Okay. All right, there you go. And it'll sit up perfectly. Isn't that neat? I really like this little card. And how many times when you're displaying your Christmas cards, whoops, this needs to come down a little bit. I'm sorry. I just realized I didn't get that on straight. I was talking instead of paying attention, and that is not good. And I may have to back up and redo the whole thing. Okay. If I have to redo this, I will. But I see that I did not get it quite as even as I wanted to, even though it looks cute when you stand it up. It's like that. And on occasion, you don't get things exactly the way you want them, and you have to go back and redo. But what you do is you lay it out like that. And then you can slide it in a card, in an envelope, excuse me, not a card. Heavens to Betsy. But you see how neat that fits? So, there you go. That's the card for today. And like I said, I think I'm going to redo that one a bit. But this one is, you know, like it's supposed to be. And it'll slide right in the card too. And right in the envelope. I don't know why I'm going to call this a card. But you know me. My brain and my mouth go different ways sometimes. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'll lay one down and stand one up. That way you get the idea. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I enjoyed learning how to make this little bridge card. And of course, you don't have to just make a Christmas bridge card. You can make any kind of bridge card you want to. And you can decorate it any way you want to. I saw a lady put a sentiment in there, and then she decorated this part out here. So there's all kinds of ways to do it. Okay, that about concludes it for today. And again, I'd ask you, if you haven't pushed the subscribe button, please do that. And if you need something, a product, now is a really good time to buy, because celebration is going on and you get a free gift with every $50 purchase. And there's a couple of items that are $100 purchases. You can get a set of dies or the Dahlia stamp set, the delightful Dahlia stamp set that I did last week. Or last time, let's put it that way, last time. But if there's anything that I can help you with, go to contact me on my webpage and send me a request for information or whatever you need. If you need a catalog, you can go there and I'll be glad to send you one. Whatever I can do to be helpful, I'd be more than glad to do it. And I thank you for your time. I hope everything goes well in the next couple of days, and as soon as I get another set done, I'll be back with you, and we'll do some more cards. So have a great weekend, and I'll talk with you later. Thank you.